Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Kevin's Garage. By now you all know that this is my ongoing journey as a car building novice to build my Factory 5 Roadster. So this week we are fitting the e-brake, the emergency brake or the handbrake. Now there's lots of different options out there. Obviously Factory 5 makes their own. There are electronic versions now, but I certainly wanted to be as original and as authentic as I possibly can. So I actually went back and picked up from eBay a 1998 to 2000 Mustang e-brake or handbrake. So when this came, it certainly had some spots of rust on it, but it cleans up very nicely with a little bit of Rust-Oleum, and with a nice sort of oil, it now feels very, very nice. In fact, as good as new. So you might be asking, well, why did I go with this particular version? Well, I certainly like the look and the feel of it, and it is obviously authentic as well. But I live in New Jersey, and when I attended the build school, they were very clear that certain states encourage you to use Mustang parts just based in terms of some of the safety protocols that they have. So that's what I decided to go with. So not just with the handbrake, it's important then that you get the matching Mustang parts in terms of the cables, and in terms of the sheathing that this provides. It certainly meets the safety standards of a number of states, and it will do well for me in New Jersey. Now, one thing before we get on to fit this that I think it's worth pointing out is when you buy the brake cables, you get them in a set and they are different. So my particular cables came from a company called Dorman, first stop replica Ford Mustang cables, but they have two different serial numbers. This one ends in 227, which is the right cable, 228 is the left cable. And the difference is that in terms of the route that they need to take to go to the brake caliper, obviously the distance on the right cable or the passenger side is just a little bit shorter than the one on the left. So the brake cables are slightly different lengths. All right, so that's what we're going to be doing. So I'll talk you through it step by step. So let's get straight to it. Okay, so we're just starting to dry fit the emergency brake. So there you can see it in situ, and I've already highlighted or identified a couple of slight issues. So the first one, let's just go down the top. Hopefully you can see this. So just down there, I think hopefully you can see it, just down there, there was a little attachment that was sticking out, and actually this is what was there. Hopefully you can see this. So I had to just cut that off, so it cut off quite easily just with this hacksaw. So that was the first issue that was in the way, and I think that was probably easiest done. In fact, I can show you that's what it looks like on the other side. So that item just down there, that's what it looked like. So I've cut that off, so that's good. And now the only other issue is it looks like the panel is when you move the handbrake, it's going to rub a little bit on the panel. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a few rivets down this side here just to pull that back, and then we're going to fit the handbrake, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so we're back on Kevin Cam. The good news is that the emergency brake has been fitted. So let's just have a look and talk about one or two of the issues along the way. So firstly, you can see there are the rivets that I put in to push this panel down a bit, and now we have a working e-brake, which is excellent. Let's have a look inside, and I'll talk you through just a couple of the salient points.
So firstly, if you're fitting the same brake that I am, which is from a 99 to 04 Mustang, then obviously you need the same cables as well, and they're pretty easy to pick up, both of which I got from eBay. So if you're going this route, what you need to do is, if you look down here, there's actually two holes where the cables actually fit in, and when they're in properly they just click. So they're purposely designed to do that. What you do have to do is clean out the holes a little. So I just cleaned them out with a little round file, and that went well. And then when they are in and clicked in, I just put the passenger side on top and the driver's side on the bottom. If you remember, the driver's side is a little longer cable. Then of course you attach them to the metal handle that you have. The only issue I had was that my cable was a little slack, so rather than remove the sort of grommet or the little sort of finial on the end, I just added another one to make it a little tighter, and that appears to have worked pretty well. Then really it's as simple as just running the cables. I'll just turn around for a second. Then you just run the cables straight back, and this is the reason why, if you live in New Jersey, you have to go this route with these cables, because the factory 5 cables actually go underneath this part of the chassis, and you're not allowed to do that from a safety perspective in New Jersey. So then you just sort of run them back through, and what I decided to do was, if I just come under here, hopefully you can see under there, I think I'm looking in the right spot, yes, under there, just right here, there's a little part of the chassis with a couple of holes in. So what I did is I just got a grommet and just ran the cable right through there, and then you can just come back, tuck it under the solid axle, and then it just fits in this little slot here. So it's purpose built. Again, there's a little fitting on the end which pops under here. Then you simply just pull the cable out and drop it into that little piece. And then really it's just a matter of making sure that the cable stays out of the way of any moving parts. On this side, on the driver's side, it's similar but a little different. Again, if you can see under here, you probably can't see because it's dark, but under there, there's just part of the axle. There are two holes about 1 inch in diameter. I just popped a grommet in both of those and then just ran the cable straight through them, so it keeps it well out of the way of all the workings of the axle, and again just pops around underneath the solid axle and just fits back on here. So if you can look through, there's not really a lot going on in there. You can see the cables. I just need to maybe when everything's finalized and I'm putting the drive shaft in, make sure that they are hoisted up and well out of the way, because they do need a bit of movement, because clearly the axle is going to be moving up and down. In fact, as soon as I take it off the jacks and put it down on the tires, it's going to move up. So it has to have a little bit of wiggle room in it to be able to move. So that's it. I think I'm pretty satisfied overall. So let's just bring it home and summarize. Okay, so that's it for this week's edition of Kevin's Garage. I think overall I'm very pleased with how the e-brake or parking brake turned out. I certainly like the sort of the vintage look and feel of the Mustang brake, and I have to say I'm very pleased that it works as well. I think that some good lessons learned this week about the importance of dry fitting everything. We obviously did have a few little barriers to overcome, but I was pleased with how we managed to solve them. All right, so next week we are staying with the braking system, and we're going to bleed the brakes. Again, something as a novice that I've not done before, but I'm sure there'll be some great learning. So thanks a lot again. If you're enjoying this novice's journey, then please like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching. Take care.